Hi there and welcome to Transcona Trailer Sales. Today we'll be walking you through your 2024 Chaparral 336 TSIK. We are just going to start off at the back of the unit. If you notice, you're pre-wired for an observation camera up top. You got your stairs that go up to your right. Then you do have a 2-inch receiver right at the back here in case you want to bike racks. Then you do have this back cap. You just squeeze and pull out, and that's where you're going to find your sewer hose. Once fully extended, it is about 20 feet long. You're just taking note of those 2 ears there. It's going to be the same 2 ears that go to your sewer system, which I'll show you in a minute. We just keep it stored away in the back bumper here just to keep as much smell out of the unit as possible. Back bumper just snaps into place. You got your rear landing gear, not much you need to worry about there. It's self-adjusting. You got your furnace exhaust. Whenever this is on, it's going to be blowing out hot air, so just be mindful of that. Then you got your standard twist lock 50 amp connector. You're just taking note of that strip there. It's going to line up with this strip on this side. You just push it in, 8th turn to lock it into place, and then you got that threaded collar to really lock it down. If you follow that cord back, you do have your standard 50 amp plug end. A lot of campsites don't have this, so we do include a 30 amp dog bone adapter in case you need to go down to 30 amps of power. But when you do go down to 30 amps of power, just keep it in mind, you can only run 1 air conditioner at a time. You won't be able to run 2. We also include a 15 amp park adapter to go down from 30. Whenever you are running that, that is just to run your fridge and your lights, really. You're not running any air conditioner, any air or anything else really on that. You got your main sewer cap here. Just taking this knob, twisting it, and pulling out. Just taking note of those 2 ears there. Those are going to be the same 2 ears that were on your sewer hose, and they just lock into place like so. You got your Furrion tankless water heater. One thing I'm going to mention now with this is, unlike traditional water heaters, you don't have to bypass this. You do run antifreeze through it when it comes to winterization, so just be mindful of that, because you do run the risk of bursting your tank if you don't run antifreeze through it. And once you do that, you are just going to crack this little drain valve right down here. You'll see that little brass tip there. You'll just loosen that guy off and leave it out all winter. That way the antifreeze can go through the system and drain out, and when it expands, when it gets cold, it's not going to crack anything. You got your main power switch here. Turning that guy on does just supply power to the main thermostat that's inside, and I will get to that in a few minutes. This just snaps into place, same as your traditional. Opening up this compartment here, you got your leveling system up front. The leveling system isn't going to work unless your batteries are connected, which brings me to your battery disconnect switch. With the battery disconnect switch in the on position, the batteries are connected to the unit. If you were to switch it to the off position, the batteries become disconnected from the unit. This little switch here does turn on some cool accent lighting up front, and then you got your leveling system. So if you push that power button, it's going to say ready. You can either hit that auto level button, it's going to automatically level the unit, or you can run each individual just by pushing either front or rear, or if you push front once, you can do left or right individually as well. Or you can just switch through your different, you can go to auto hitch mode, you can also go to auto retract all, auto retract rear, and manual level. And that's pretty much it for that. And when you hit retract, if you push and hold it, it's just going to retract all the jacks. Power switch to turn it back off. On this side here, you do have 2 110 plugins, and then you're going to have your main kind of water area. You got your cable satellite inlets here. This is going to be for your antifreeze for winterization, so you're just taking that cap off. You're going to thread this hose into that place, and then you can stick this end into that jug of antifreeze. Right here, you're going to notice you got your legislation for your different settings here. So you got it currently set up in dry camp mode. If you were wanting to go to power fill, you just have to turn the knobs to how they're supposed to be. Same thing with city water, your winterization mode, and then your siphon mode. You got a black tank flush, so this guy right here, whenever your black tank's open and your sewer hose is connected, important you do so, you can flush that tank out. That's just gonna help with any false monitor panel readings or odors you're noticing around the unit. Then you got your city water connection right here. And it's also, depending on how you have your valves, your fill and everything. And then you do just have your 3 separate tanks here. So you got 2, a gray and a galley. And then of course you're gonna have your main black sewage. You also have a little sewer shower set up with hot and cold water. And a nice little cap here so you can run all your tubes and everything through that hole. So you can close up this compartment. This side of the unit, as well as on the other side of the unit, you got 2 30-pound propane tanks. I'm just gonna turn the one on the other side on first. We'll open up this front compartment here. Open this guy up. It gives you access to. This can be where your battery is housed underneath this black cover here. As you can see, we will have that secured back down. Just for the purpose of the video, we have it off. And then it's all just storage space. Just keeping in mind, you got all those cables over there. You're not gonna wanna be banging up against or up on the roof here, your main, for your slide out, your main motherboard there. Just be mindful of those couple things. And around this side of the unit, like I said, same side. You're just opening this guy up. You can turn on that propane. Counterclockwise turns it on, opens up the flow to the unit. If you were to turn it counterclockwise, it would turn it off just like a standard barbecue style. So this here is just going to be some more storage. You're going to notice this little tool on the wall here. That's just going to be to lower your spare tire down. Coming to the back here, this is where you're going to get access to that spare tire mount there. Hook that tool up to that, and it would allow that spare tire to go down. You're just having to remove that safety chain first that holds it up. And then if you're going to notice all the way over there, right behind that wheel, that is going to be your fresh tank drain. So if you take that cap off, it's going to drain your fresh tank. Get inside, you're just taking that system and raise it, lock it in place. You can open up the door to get your stairs down. You do have to have the door all the way open. Hold this tab. Will allow the stairs to unlock and come down. You're going to notice on either side of the stairs, with these tabs. That's just so you can adjust your feet to your campsite needs. You have nice and stairs. Taking a step on inside, first thing you notice off on your left is just going to be that fire extinguisher, just like home. Pull the pin and shoot. You're going to have some entryway lights as well as an awning switch light, which turns on an awning LED underneath on this panel here. And then of course, you have your slide out controls, so pushing and holding that down will allow those slide outs to start making their way out. Once fully extended, you're going to hear the whines and the clicks of the motor. Always before operating the slide, you're knowing what's on either side of the slide before you operate it. That way you don't damage anything. There is 3 slide outs for this unit. Now we're operating the bedroom slide. Right up top, you're going to notice you got your monitor panel. That's just going to tell you what all your tank levels are at, as well as that battery. Again, you hear the slide out click, and that's when you know it's fully extended. And there you go. And then you have your awning switch. Pushing and holding that up will allow that awning to start making its way out. And once fully extended, you're going to see the back of the metal tube and the little flap hang down. Whenever you get to about 5 km/h winds, you are just going to want to make sure you do bring that awning in. That way you don't run the risk of bending anything or ripping your fabric. And there you go, you got that flap. Then you see that back of the metal tube, so you know you're fully extended. If it were to start raining, you can take any arm, front or rear, and just pull down on it. It's going to change the pitch of the awning head, allowing water to then run off. Now, if you like that angle better, you can do the same thing with the front arm. It's going to allow for more shade underneath. It's always making sure you do push those arms back to straight before you bring that awning in. And then just pushing that button down will allow that awning to retract itself in, always making sure that you're rolling it the right way in. So that way you're not trapping in any moisture, accelerating the growth of mold and mildew. And then once those arms just contact the side of the trailer, the motors are just going to automatically cut out. You'll be able to let off that button. Right down here, you're going to have some more light switches just to turn on in the main living space. Over here really is just kind of like a bar space / storage space, just lots of storage. This main regular household plug is just going to turn on that fan inside the main living space. Right down below, you got your main fuse and breaker panel. Popping that guy. Whenever a breaker trips, it's going to sit in the middle, so you do just have to turn it off and then back on again to reset it. And whenever you have a fuse blow, there'll be a little red indicator light letting you know which one's blown. All around the unit, you're going to notice you do have lots of travel straps, especially on the fridge and all the chairs. Always making sure you do have these guys on before you go traveling. That way nothing's opening or sliding around when you're traveling, causing damage around the unit. All these chairs inside the dinette will have travel straps as well. All the blinds in the unit do work the same way. They just kind of sit where you leave them, and then one quick little pull will allow them to retract back up. You do got your 2 theater style chairs. You got heaters and massagers in both of them, as well as some accent lighting. This couch does turn up into a bed. You're just having to pull these cushions off, pull the bed from the underneath and the front. That'll allow that couch to pull right out, and then you can take the 2 feet down and you'll have yourself a bed. Again, all the blinds units do work the same way. This exit is going to be an emergency exit as well. So if you unlock that, pull that over, it'll allow the whole screen to slide over as well with the window if you pull on it, and you can hop on out. Again, lots of light switches all around the unit just to turn on more lights. You got your main entertainment center with your TV on the wall. You got your sound bar. It's pretty much just like home, minus the fact of having zone 1 and zone 2. Zone 2 is going to be your exterior speakers. Zone 1 is going to be your interior speakers. Right down below, you do have a fireplace with far right being the power button. Button beside that changes your flame color. Button in the middle does do the rock light color. And then 2 from the left is going to do your heat, so pushing it once you go on low, pushing it again is going to take you to high. Then you got a timer that goes anywhere from 30 minutes to 9 hours. Getting into the main kitchen area, you got your pantry stove. Again, just with some more travel straps for these 2 chairs underneath here, so that those aren't flying around whenever you're driving. You got your stove with your glass top, always being careful because it is glass, so just try and be gentle with it. You got those knobs, turning them over to light, hitting the sparker, and they fire right on up. Now that is because we did have the propane system running earlier today. Sometimes if you've had the propane system off for a while, it does take a few minutes just to purge all the air out of the propane line, so just be patient with it. It can take a few minutes sometimes. Same thing goes for the oven. The oven can be even more of a while just before the pilot gets the propane. Just holding the oven to the pilot mode and hitting the sparker. Again, like I said, sometimes it can take a few minutes. And there you go, you get the pilot. Once the pilot's able to hold its own, you can let off that button, turn it up to your desired temperature, and it fires right on up. Microwave, which is pretty much just like home, not much I need to show you there, but it is also a range hood, so just be mindful of that. You do have your fridge, of course, with your travel straps on there. You can lose these guys off, just pull them off. That'll allow you to be able to open up that fridge. All your controls for that fridge are just right here. It's just going to tell you what is everything is at. To unlock it, you just push and hold that button. You would just push and hold that button. For some reason right now it's just being finicky, and it would be able to unlock it, and it would allow you to change your different settings for your fridge and freezer combo for what you want the temperatures at. Again, storage space all around here. Taking a step on downstairs, you do have a little entryway light here. One thing I forgot to mention, you do have tank heaters located on this unit. That is for extended camping season, but Manitoba winters get much too cold. Realistically, -5 is like the max you would want to go, and even then you are running the risk of things freezing, so just be mindful of that. You got your thermostat, so if you turn that power button on, it's going to have you on zone 1 first. It'll bring you to your last mode that you're at. You can change your mode just by pressing the button. Going to heat would obviously fire up the furnace. The air is going to move, the air conditioning is going to move all its air to this main outlet vent here. Running these louvers open, it's going to dump all its air into the main living space. Closing these louvers will allow it to move through all the ceiling ducting you have throughout the unit, and the furnace does move all its air through the floor portals you see we have throughout the unit. One thing I'll mention, you have one GFI plug here, one GFI plug in the bathroom. If you ever have an outlet that doesn't work, I would check both these plugs first. You got test on the left, reset in the middle. If you ever have an outlet that doesn't work, first place I'd look, and you got your LP detector right over here. That guy ever starts going off, just turn off the main supply of propane at the front of the unit and open up some windows to ventilate it out. Then back to your thermostat. You got your mode. You can hit your fan and it'll change between your different fan speeds. I typically leave it on automatic, so it'll decide what to do, up or down at any time, changes your desired temperature. Now, if you were to want to fire up your second zone, you can just hit zone 2 and it would bring you to your front air conditioner. Because we're only hooked up to 30 amp service, because that's all we have at the shop here, I'm going to turn off zone 1. Hit that zone button, you'll see it switched over the temperature and it goes to zone 2. And then again, just hitting that power button will turn on that front air conditioner. To get the furnace running, the furnace is only hooked up to zone 1, so you do have to be on zone 1 to fire that furnace, otherwise it will not work. In zone 2, and again, just power button to turn that off. And then a couple more steps up, get into the bathroom where that second GFI plug I told you about is. You got your sink and your shower. Always being mindful, again, you got this travel strap here. These doors are glass, so the travel strap's there for a reason. Whenever you're traveling, always having that latched. It's going to stop these from swaying back and forth and possibly smashing. You got your thermostat on the wall for your hot water heater. Hitting that power button turns it on. Up or down changes the temperature you're desiring. You can change between Celsius and Fahrenheit. Power button to turn it off. It is pretty much that simple. Whenever you do have it on, as soon as you hit that hot water tap, it's going to automatically start trying to make hot water. It isn't instantaneous, but it is pretty quick, and it does stay for quite a while. In the bedroom, light switch on the left. Fire exit, the way this one works is you're just having to take this tab, pull it, the screen's gonna pop right out. You can take this handle, push it out of the unit, pop on out. Inside here, if you pull this, again, another travel strap, because you don't want this mirror to break when you're traveling. You are pre-plumbed and pre-wired for a washer dryer combo. If you'd like to get set up with that, you can contact our parts department and they can put a quote together for you. You got 2 lights inside here as well. And then you do have your bed, air conditioner right above you, that front air conditioner. You can pick up that foot of the bed. It's going to allow you to open this up. And you do have some storage space down below. That's going to be it for this unit here. If you have any other questions, feel free to give us a call.